Hi everyone. I know the lighting's not very good this morning, but I'm actually kind of happy about it because that means it's cloudy and we're actually getting some rain. We have gone weeks without rain here in northeastern Ohio, so we're so thankful for it. Things are actually starting to turn green again, just a little bit here and there on the lawn. I'm seeing some green again. So nice. So let's get right into the video. I'll be sharing with you how we made this island for our kitchen. I had showed you last week how I painted our kitchen cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and then also redid the countertop. And I'm still loving my kitchen, and especially with the new island, I can't wait to show you. John and I went to Kime Lumber. It's a place locally here in Charm, Ohio. And if you're ever in the area, make sure to check them out. They have anything from your raw lumber to your finished, whatever you need for your home. Like seriously, they have anything. We were looking for wood for our island skirts and then also the shelf, like the bottom shelf, and then we wanted 4 posts. Ended up finding everything that we needed that day, which was awesome. So my plan for this island is to have it open a little bit higher than a normal table and then also have a bottom shelf in it. I've seen them on Pinterest and they always catch my eye, and often they have maybe a pretty marble or quartz top on them. When we got our posts at Kime, I told them we're probably going to turn these upside down, and the actual, ball part that is normally turned up for a banister railing is going to be at the bottom. They probably thought we were a bit crazy, but I was pretty sure it's going to work. Here John is cutting everything down to the right size, width and length. We know our island top is going to be 32 by 64 inches. So here he's just making sure, everything is going to fit underneath that with maybe 1.5 inch to 2 inch overhang. Okay, so here John has the skirting cut. This is the skirting for the top part, and this is for that bottom shelf. It's all, nicely cut. And then over here are the posts. He is ready to cut these down to size, and I want them to be around 35 inches, and this is the bottom part. So we'll have to measure from the floor up to get our 35 inches. So being that the end of the post here is rounded, it's kind of hard to get an accurate, measurement. So the easiest way is just to set it on the floor and measure, from the floor up. Here John is using a Kreg jig to drill the holes, and this is a must-have if you work with wood. It's so nice to, fasten pieces of boards together. It's like a hidden pocket hole in the back. And I'll try to have a link down below in the description box of this Kreg jig that we have. I think it's from Amazon, and it works really well. I don't know, can you guys tell here in the video, what kind of wood we're actually using? The only posts that Kime had on hand were red oak posts, and if you guys know me, you know I'm not a huge fan of red oak. But being that I want to stain this island, I wanted the boards, like the skirting and the shelf, to match with the posts. So we ended up getting all red oak boards. But I do think I have a way to work around it. I'm going to try it anyway. I'm going to try to bleach it. I've worked with bleaching wood before, and I know you can actually lighten up wood considerably. That first layer, once you have it lightened, you don't want to sand over it because you can actually sand back down to the, in this case, the red part. But I think I'm going to try it, just give it a coat of bleach, see if I can get rid of that kind of reddish, orangish hue that it has. So here is the piece that I tested with bleach, and I don't know, does a video even pick it up, but I'm actually really impressed with how it took the red out. And I'll try to show you this, and then over here, kind of how red that still looks. Right here it's still drying, so you can't really tell, but just these two you can kind of compare. And the other thing I could do here is, some of these pieces are more red than others, but here is one that's kind of extra red. So we'll put these side by side here. Just want to show you guys kind of how it looks, in case you want to do the same thing. Right there you have it. Check out the difference. The stain I'm using here is Minwax brand, and the color is Aged Oak. It's probably the one that we use the most for any of our wooden products. Just a nice brown color, I think. I'm applying it using a foam brush and then kind of rubbing it off and evening things out using a kind of a knit piece of fabric. Here I'm taking the old island apart. I had thought when I made it years ago this would, last a couple years for us and then we'd probably invest in something better, but here we are probably, 10 to 12 years later, and it's definitely not hard to take it apart. It's nothing too complicated, but I'm really excited to see how our new one will look in this space. John isn't here the day that I want to set up the island, and of course, being the impatient person that I am, I'm not going to wait, and decided to put it in here. I want to see how it looks. He does still want to fasten the bottom boards, and I'll probably take that out on the porch then to do it, but it's really easy to move around. I'm going to lightly sand the piece, and then I want to apply some anti-Sloan clear wax, and I thought I'd do that as I have it, setting here where it's going to be. I just couldn't wait. I wanted to see how it looks here. Totally loving the look. I think it goes really well with the beams, which that was kind of what I was after. The reason I really like anti-Sloan clear wax is the finish that it gives, of course. I love the matte finish, and then it's also just really nice and hard and smooth, after it dries. It's just so easy to wipe down. I use an anti-Sloan brush to apply, but I know there's other brushes similar to this one that, work as well. And I used to actually apply it with a rag before I had this brush, so that totally works too, although I gotta say I do prefer the brush. The wire you see in the floor is where it went into the other island. We had that installed, in the island, like on the side. And now we're probably going to go with a floor outlet. I don't really want to drill any holes in this piece, so eventually want to put a floor outlet in. So for the island top, I knew I wanted to go with quartz or marble, something that would basically last forever. I'd had enough of these sticky wooden tops. So I did some calling around. I checked with various businesses around here, like countertop businesses. I thought surely someone would have a remnant piece from a previous project. I thought it's a small enough piece that it wouldn't take, I hoped I wouldn't have to actually order one. I could just, again, grab a remnant piece that someone would cut down to the right size for me. Couldn't really find anything in our area. And then I went on Facebook Marketplace, and I managed to find a place down in Columbus that was so accommodating. And even now, as I'm talking about this, guys, if you live in Ohio or even some of the surrounding states and you are in need of a countertop, check them out. They're called Buckeye Rock Tops, and I got such good service. I just messaged the guy and instantly got a reply. And I kind of hinted that I'd want the countertop the next day if possible. I said in the message, I'm pretty sure I said, I realize it's probably not possible, but I'm going to try. And he said, sure, I'll cut it tonight if you give me the size. And he trusted me, just through messaging. You guys know how it sometimes goes with selling things on Marketplace. You can't always trust people, and they're not always true to their word, or so I've found out. But he trusted me enough to cut this piece for us without any, down payment or deposit or anything. And the very next day, John was able to drive 2 hours down to Columbus to pick up the piece. And he was also impressed with the service he got down there. People were there to help him, and everything just went so smoothly. I felt like it was meant to be, this piece of countertop. I gotta say I was just a little bit nervous about the fact that I was, looking at a listing picture and thinking that countertop is going to look okay in my kitchen without actually seeing it, before buying. But I just trusted that, I just went by the picture. I knew it was mostly white with a little bit of gray and then also a touch of kind of a tan or a butterscotch color. And I gotta say, again, that's what kind of made me nervous, because I've never really seen quartz like that. Like, I was familiar with the white with just a little bit of gray, but not this additional kind of tan or butterscotch color. But I decided for that price, we'll go for it and just, hope for the best. It's also far out how heavy quartz is. Like, you wouldn't think just to look at it, it's not that big of a piece, but it's so heavy. And thankfully Mark and Austin came in to help carry it. Our boys weren't home the evening we wanted to install it. Gotta say, I'm in love with this top, and no need to worry about that butterscotch color. It just goes perfectly with the rest of the kitchen. In fact, it's kind of the color of the wooden countertops, like the ones that are by the sink. Like, I notice when I look at the countertop, it just kind of draws my eye to that wood and then to that butterscotch color. Like, everything just kind of flows together. So happy. Now let's see if we can get Twinkle's approval. I want to have large baskets underneath here for storage. Basically just my dishcloths. I always store those underneath the old island too. And I'm looking forward to having my KitchenAid underneath here. It really takes up a lot of space on my countertop, and I like the idea of having it elsewhere. I have a small trash can, paper towels, and then another large basket to hold the cutting boards. I have a few things, one of them being the trash can that I'm really going to miss because I had that in the old island. John came up with the idea to have it over here beside the stove. There's actually a space, kind of a dead space really, that we could kind of create a built-in and have it just sitting underneath there. So not sure when that's going to happen, but that's our plan. For now, I'll just set the centerpiece I had on the old island on here too. I'm still liking the look of this. These dried hydrangeas are always pretty for the fall season. I could not be happier with this island, guys. In fact, I feel like it's almost too pretty for our kitchen. I've never had a surface like this to work on. Just so much fun. I've had it for about a week now, and I've actually rolled out dough on it, and it's just the perfect surface for that. I feel almost distracted by the mockingbird that is singing down in our field. I gotta show you guys. Isn't it such a blessing to be able to hear such beautiful bird songs? I wanted to share with you how much we spent on getting this island made in case some of you are thinking of doing the same thing. The top was $600 and all the boards and the posts were around $500. So a little over $1,000 was spent on this island. Now of course we made it ourselves, so that really helped. I'm thinking if you're going to ask someone to make it for you, it would probably be at least twice as much or more. So that just gives you kind of an idea in case you're thinking of doing the same thing. I can tell already I'm going to love this island. Like I mentioned in the other video, this might be my favorite thing in our whole house right now. I have a few new products I want to show you. I don't have them with me, so I'll just put some pictures in the video. We made a few more of these picket fence panels. I had showed them earlier this summer. I think these turned out so pretty and would make an awesome backdrop on a piece of furniture, maybe on a buffet or an end table. And of course we just have one of each. These are a one-of-a-kind decoration. So make sure to check those out on the website if you're looking for something like that. And in case you're in the fall decorating mode, we have lots of different fall decorations along with our wonderful candles. So as always, I hope your day is going great. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.